We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What Washington needs is a major upheaval. Burning the leaders, it is burning or bust. We insist on a candidate that we can trust. Forced to choose between frickin' and crack. We'll vote for Bernie and never look back. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What the government needs is a major upheaval. One is crazy, the other corrupt. They both got the money and one of them's nuts. The establishment choose to keep the status quo, while the mass media plays a servitude role. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What this country needs is a major upheaval. FDR in 1932, we need a real Democrat for me and you. Not this time, no mask again. We're in this election till Bernie wins. 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 We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What Bernie brings is a major upheaval. Voting for Hillary shall not be our fate. Be like voting for Humphrey in 1968. The middle class will have a voice again the day after we see Bernie win. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What Washington needs is a major upheaval. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What the government needs is a major upheaval. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What Bernie brings is a major upheaval. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What Washington needs is a major upheaval. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What the government needs is a major upheaval. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. What the country needs is a major upheaval. We will not be voting for the lesser of two evils. And what Bernie brings is a major upheaval.
Here in the audience, we're going to take some audience questions. First comes from David Jakubowicz. He's a 20-year-old UPenn student who supports you. David.
So first, I want to say, as a student, I'm very excited to be voting for the first time tomorrow for you, so thank you. My question is, many of your supporters are staunchly opposed to Hillary Clinton and are considering writing you in, voting for a third-party candidate, or not voting at all if you don't win the nomination. I believe you will win the nomination and the presidency, but if you don't, will you encourage your supporters to vote for Secretary Clinton?
Dave, thanks for the question. And let me answer it in this way. First, I think it is, we're not a movement where I can snap my fingers and say to you or to anybody else what you should do, because you won't listen to me. You shouldn't. You'll make these decisions yourself. I think if we end up losing, and I hope we do not, and if Secretary Clinton wins, it is incumbent upon her to tell millions of people who right now do not believe in establishment politics or establishment economics, who have serious misgivings about a candidate who has received millions of dollars from Wall Street and other special interests. She has got to go out to you and to millions of other people and say, yeah, I think the United States should join the rest of the industrialized world, and take on the private insurance companies and the greed of the drug companies and pass a Medicare for all. I think that, says Secretary Clinton, that for the young people in this country, you should not have to leave college $30,000, $50,000, $70,000 in debt, because we're going to make, as many other countries around the world do, public colleges and universities tuition free. I think Secretary Clinton is going to have to explain to millions of young people and a lot of other people that climate change is a real crisis and incrementalism is just not going to solve it. And she is going to have to come on board and say, yeah, I know it's hard, but I am going to take on the fossil fuel industry and pass a carbon tax. So the point that I am making is, it is incumbent upon Secretary Clinton to reach out not only to my supporters, but to all of the American people with an agenda that they believe will represent the interest of working families, lower income people, the middle class, those of us who are concerned about the environment and not just big money interests.
There are Hillary Clinton supporters who I talk to, people who, some of whom are diehards and some of whom aren't. They voted for her, they like you, they like your politics. But there is concern that the thing you said at the beginning of that answer strikes me as important. You can't snap your fingers. I mean, people, this thing is big and people are very passionate. You know, you have Tim Robbins, who's done events for you. He tweeted something today about the elections being stolen, and Rosario Dawson mentioned Monica Lewinsky, and all that's going to come out in the wash, I agree. But the question for you is, if it's incumbent on her, what role do you have if and when you come to that movement?
Good. Fair question. I work with Republicans in the U.S. Senate, and I see what they do in the House. I think the Republican Party today has moved so far to the right that they are way, way, way out of touch with where the American people are. These are people who, almost without exception, do not even recognize the reality of climate change, let alone want to do anything about it. They want to cut Social Security and give tax breaks to billionaires. They want to end the Affordable Care Act, but they have nothing to replace it with. I will do everything in my power to make sure that no Republican gets into the White House in this election.